Millionaires will be made by this strategy. What I'm going to start doing is breaking down on my channel exactly what I'm doing. My name is Coach JV. What I work to do is make the complex simple. I take very complex microeconomic strategies and make them complex so we can all understand them. Financial education is the number one thing we should be focused on. So I want to make this very, very clear. Number one, as I shared with you guys yesterday, is that I wrote a book that I'll be releasing. It's going to be absolutely free. It'll be a PDF download so you can get it right away. Exactly my blueprint. Not financial advice, but exactly what I did the last 5 years. So that'll be a free book. We're beta testing it with our Warrior Academy right now. And we've had 5 for 5s across the board, 5-star review, which I'm very excited about. So it breaks down my exact strategy, how I got here, and it's not what you think, guys. The strategies that I use are for generational wealth. We are not focused on the short term. We are focused on the long term, okay? Wealth is here. Wealth is here. But if you understand or understand at a very deep level, money is currency. So also another thing is I will never proactively DM you. I will never ask you about your investments. That's not me communicating with you guys. I want to protect my friends. Okay. We do not have an investment platform. We have a Warrior Academy. We also have an Index Universal Life team. So if you've heard of Infinity Banking Concept, I'm a licensed insurance agent. I have licensed insurance agents in all 50 states. So we help people with tax code 7702. It's one of our pillars of wealth. Compound, secure, and grow your wealth with tax-free retirement like the wealthy do. You can set up a free consultation with my team in the description of this video or in the social media platform. Okay, so let's dive into it. So what I'm going to start to do is really explain to you guys the context of how I do things and how I built 7-figure ecosystems and how I built my wealth portfolio. Now remember, I'm going to be very honest with you guys. So if this turns you off, I'm not the guy to listen to, okay? 5 years ago, almost 5 years ago, I was on my parents' couch, had lost my money for the third time. But this is really important to the story, okay? I had to ask myself, why did I keep going broke? I had no problem earning money. I'd made a ton of money as an executive. I'd made money in a business before. I kept losing my money because rich parents have rich kids. Poor parents have poor kids. Middle-class parents have middle-class kids until one person draws a line in the sand, becomes more committed to the pain of change and staying the same, and rewires the brain, which creates a new environment. So if you become a millionaire in crypto and you haven't changed your foundation and you've never had money before, you're going to be in the same situation. So as I break down these strategies, I'm going to share with you guys how I make my investments. Now, cryptocurrency is now a small part of my portfolio, believe it or not. When I first started, it was all about crypto. I was going to get rich in crypto. I was going to retire off crypto. And then I met Wise Counsel and they said, crypto is your retirement? I'm like, absolutely. When XRP goes here, and they're like, that's your retirement strategy? And they said, crypto is an investment. It's not your retirement. He's like, don't mix your investments with your retirement. Let me explain. So the way that I look at cryptocurrency is an extremely speculative asset that you can make a lot of money in a short amount of time, not get rich quick, because most people are going to get rich quick and lose it. So when it goes parabolic in 2024 to 2025, I will be exiting big time as you're coming in. Then you diversify into things that are tangible. Insurance, insure your wealth. They teach you how to insure your life. We insure our wealth. Precious metals, businesses, tangible, real estate, tangible. You diversify so you're protected, okay, with different asset classes. And you have that generational wealth and you have that safety and security to raise your frequency because you know your retirement is set. Okay, very important. So as I break this stuff down for you, I'm going to share with you guys the intelligent investor strategy. So Warren Buffett at 12 years old was investing in the markets. He switched from investing in the markets to investing in companies. Read the book Intelligent Investor. So I switched my model in cryptocurrency to that type of model and my investment strategy to that as well. So the way that I'm set up is I have cryptocurrency, I'm diverse across. So now if cryptocurrency went to zero, I'm completely fine because I diversified across other platforms where I'm building wealth. I have an insurance company, okay? I teach people Index Universal Life, Infinity Banking Concept, okay? I have multiple businesses in different sectors, information, technology, and attention. You can do this, guys. I have precious metals, and now I'm getting into real estate. So I'm diversified. So it doesn't matter if cryptocurrency collapses or somebody attacks my portfolio. I've diversified outside. You see what I'm saying? You don't want to be just stuck in one asset class. But right now, as we sit, do the opposite of everybody else. Create a budget, create some cash flow, stop drinking energy drinks, save $3 a day. In 10 days, you have $30. In 20 days, you have $60. Do the math, guys. That's 60 bucks you can put into XRP every single month. Or excuse me, that would be like 90 to 100 bucks you can put into XRP every single month. Get rid of one of your cars. You drive a $700 car with a $700 car payment, you make $30,000 a year. That makes 0 cents. Get rid of it, create some cash flow, and start investing. Pick a few cryptos, pick a few investments, and hold and accumulate right now. And then when it goes parabolic, do the opposite of everybody else. Get out of the market as it's going up, because you will not catch the top. Okay. So I want to share with you guys some great news out there. And then I'm going to go all the way down to Jay Clayton and the FDIC. Okay. Because I'm going to share with you guys deeper on how my brain works. Okay. So this came out yesterday. I think it was September 6th. SBI expands XRP remittance to Vietnam, Indonesia, and Philippines. I'm a heavy investor in XRP. Also XLM, two of my biggest holdings. Okay, so SBA holdings, I want to show you guys this really quickly. I had it pulled up here. Here we go. I want to share with you guys a little bit deeper. What is SBI? SBI is SBI Ripple Asia. So they are partnered with Ripple. SBI Group owns 60% shareholder, and Ripple Labs is 40%. It is a massive, 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 massive thing. Okay. So SBI is huge in Asia. So it's a joint venture established by Ripple and America FinTech Venture Company. SBI Holdings, SBI Asia creates the Internet of Value. Okay. So there's a lot of cool things happening within the Asian countries right now. We're heading to cryptocurrency, guys. So if you think about it, why do I invest in XRP? Why are we pre-IPO with Ripple through Link 2? Is because we understand that is a company that is going to be here for the long term. Okay. I'm not worried about the short-term price action at all. At all. When it goes parabolic, I'll be holding 50% of my portfolio, but exiting 50%. Okay. So this was interesting too. So Monica Long put this out there. This came out from Paris Blockchain Week. So the past couple of years have been a real tipping point for institutional DeFi, where even the biggest of banks are embracing this technology as the future. They have to adapt or die. Okay. Your banks have to adapt. I'm telling you, I came from the banking system. My CFO and I spent 20 years combined in the banking system. I went to CBA Executive Banking School. You can look it up. Look up CBA, John Vasquez. I graduated, I think, 2006 or 2017. So CBA Executive Banking School teaches you how to scale banks. When I started to understand how banks actually operated, that's why I understood why I kept going broke, because banks are designed to take your money and make it current. Okay, it's currency. What we do is we put our money into a fixed account, a bank account. They lend it out and index it. They put it in the capital markets, and they lend it out to the next person for interest, right? You can do the same thing with your infinity banking concept. So it's about understanding how the money mechanisms work, okay? So now let's go a little bit deeper into why I think cryptocurrency is going to be so massive. Again, there's going to be a lot of volatility, guys, a lot of volatility. So this was really interesting. So we have to understand the players. So remember, Jay Clayton, write him down. Okay, Jay Clayton was the one that initiated the case against Ripple on December 20th, 2020, okay? Jay Clayton, which I'm going to show you now, sits on the board for the FDIC with the bank bailing committees. Okay. Approval is inevitable. SEC Insider primes crypto markets for 15 trillion Bitcoin, Ethereum, and XRP price ETF game changer. So what I believe is going to happen as we head into 2024, they are going to approve the Bitcoin ETF. And now Kathy Woods, one of my favorite investors, ARK Investments, is now doing a Ethereum ETF, guys. The game is changing as you know it. So when these institutions get the green light with the ETF, do you realize how much institutional money is going to come into the system? That's where the price appreciation comes from, okay? Demand and people coming in, okay? You need demand. You need people coming in when institutions start to come in. Because think about this for just a moment. If you're a large institution and a Bitcoin ETF is approved, you're going to start pushing all your clients into it when it's down before the Bitcoin halving, because when it goes parabolic, they're going to pull on your ass and they're going to pull profits and make their clients wealthier. The whole system is moving to tokenization. Okay. Now remember, crypto is a small part of my portfolio now. I have a large amount of cryptocurrency, in my opinion. I mean, it's pretty easy to accumulate a lot, pennies on the dollar, right? So, you know, a lot is relative to whoever is talking about it. But I also am diversified in other things. My income doesn't come from my cryptocurrency. Cryptocurrency is something I can make a large amount of money in a short amount of time to invest in things like insurance, business, things that are tangible, right? Nobody can attack my crypto, my insurance portfolio. Nobody can attack my businesses. Nobody can attack my gold, right? Think about that. You need to get out of the markets when it goes parabolic to get into things that are tangible so you feel secure, because frequency is extremely important when you're in an investing capacity or building wealth, okay? You can't be indoctrinated like the rest of the people. So let's pause for just a moment. So SBI, we know that's huge what's happening in the remittance. So there's big things happening with XRP and SBI, okay? We have the Bitcoin ETF working to be approved, and I think it's going to happen in 2024. Now we have Kathy Wood's ARK Investment applying for an Ethereum ETF, which is extremely powerful, okay? Now we're going to listen to Jay Clayton now, who initiated the case against Ripple. That's key to understand. He initiated the case against Ripple December 20th, 2020. He left to consult for a cryptocurrency firm. So we're going to listen to what he says around ETFs and things like that, and I'm going to show you guys what they said at the FDIC bank bail-ins, guys. They're preparing for a new monetary system. So if they're preparing for a new monetary system, where would you think think about this? People are sitting here going, oh, like they're selling your soul. It's like, what are you guys, what are you talking about? If you have your money in a 401k, you're not probably 70% of your portfolio is allocated to things that are owned by BlackRock. Like people, when they parrot stuff, like you're selling your soul going into crypto, but you're investing in your 401k when probably 70% of the S&P is owned by BlackRock. And then you talk shit about BlackRock, but most of your investments are in companies that are with BlackRock. Like we have to get out of this indoctrination, parroting information and get down to the origin. It's extremely important. That's why I don't respond to comments like that, guys. It's silly. Like people are parroting stuff and they're saying it's the mark of the beast as they're sitting there they're going to monitor you as they have an Apple iWatch on. It's like, dude, they're monitoring you right now. They're listening to everything I say right now. Right. So it's about understanding how this system works and getting down to the origin. Okay. So let's listen to what he says. And then we'll dive into, I'm going to show you guys the board that he sits on, which I think is very important, right? He sits on the Bank Bailing Committee board. Why would he be sitting on the Bank Bailing Committee when he's deep in cryptocurrency?
One. Crypto is a technology. Bitcoin is one manifestation of that technology providing a product. When crypto came to our retail markets, many people used crypto to develop products that were clearly non-compliant with our securities laws. They raised money in effectively public offerings without going through the rigors of public registration. And the SEC had to tamp down on that. And we did. Now the SEC has to deal with the lines between securities offerings, securities trading, non-securities offerings, non-securities tradings, and things like stablecoin, which Anthony mentioned, and have clearly shown.
So this is important to listen to decipher what he's saying, right? They went from cryptocurrency as a fraud. They're shutting down crypto to cryptocurrency is the infrastructure.
Promise. So it is a job that is challenging, but it's one that the SEC and let me point this out, many other federal financial regulators have to take on.
So all that said, if you were in the chair today, would you have approved it?
Well, look, I'm not there, and I'm not going to have that kind of, I do this, he would do that. What I have said is, as this has developed, it is clear that Bitcoin is not a security. It is clear that Bitcoin is something that retail investors want access to, that institutional.
This is important. Retail investors and institutional investors want access. Listen.
Investors want access to. And importantly, some of our most trusted providers who are fiduciaries or have duties of best interest want to provide this product to the retail public. So I think, as Anthony said, an approval isn't inevitable. The dichotomy between a futures product and a cash product can't go on forever.
Okay. It's inevitable, guys. It is inevitable that they will approve the Bitcoin ETF. That's coming from the former head of the SEC who sits on the Systematic Resolution Advisory Committee for the FDIC. The Bank Bail-In Committee. Jay Clayton sits on the Systematic Advisory Committee. Why is he sitting on the board for the Bank Bail-In Committee, guys? Look at the boards that he's on. He was on the head of the SEC. They move him over to the FDIC. Guys, they're switching your monetary system as you speak. And there'll never be an opportunity for everyday normal people. That's why they're working to figure out what is a security and a non-security. They want to bring this under the traditional banking system. And I'm going to bring you back to this video 8 months ago, guys, where the FDIC Systematic Resolution Advisory Committee breaks down. This is when we're going through the bank bail-ins, and they're still happening, guys. This stuff is still on the thing. Listen to what they say. Listen, this is Jay Clayton is sitting in this meeting, guys.
And so, there are a lot of things we've been thinking about, and what we want to hear from you today is what you think the priorities would be in order to go about setting expectations appropriately in public about how we would execute Title II, so that if and when we do have to have that announcement on Friday night, ideally Friday night, that people are in a position to receive it, understand it, and say, yeah, that works. And we can see how this will happen. Of course, there will be doubters, but there's a lot of things going on. So with that.
First of all, I'd like to praise the FDIC for its unrelenting pressures to have more disclosure under the actual public reports. I think they have been very helpful. Second, I guess I am a bit pessimistic about your ability to communicate with the people who really need to know in terms of a crisis. And this is partly from my experience of teaching this stuff. There was a lot of interest just after the crisis. It's dwindled over time. And so people are sort of less and less interested in getting into the nitty-gritty and some of the really interesting developments. So I would think your strategy ought to be to disclose as much as possible to people who professionally need to know about it. And that would certainly include the ratings agencies and the people within the banks who are responsible for these judgments. And simply have publicly available a place where people can go if they need to know more. Because we're dealing with a society where people are getting their information in tweets. There's just no patience, I think, for going through the elaborate and careful planning that has gone on. It should be there. It should be accessible when people need to know. But I don't think you have much hope of reaching a public that doesn't have a professional need to know.
This planning has been going on since 2012, guys. Bank Bailing Committee was created in 2012.
I completely agree with that. I almost think you'd scare the public if you put this out. Like, why are they telling me this? Should I be concerned about my bank? Like, my insurance company doesn't tell me what they're doing with my assets. They just assume they're going to pay my claim. Right? I think you've got to think of the unintended consequences of taking a public that has more full faith and confidence in the banking system than maybe people in this room do.
That's wild. I mean, just let that sink in what he just said. Just let that, rewind that and let that statement sink in. Now, there's nothing to fear other than fear itself, guys. So what I would be doing is working to get your shit together. We focus on self-development, financial education. We're not fighting the invisible enemy. There's nobody to go against. We got our shit together. We got our finances in order. We got budgets in place. We stopped frivolous spending. We started investing in a speculative asset called crypto. We diversified into insurance, business, precious metals. And we did this all in 5 years, guys. And we are going to build generational wealth. It's a fact. It's a fact. But you can do the same thing. There'll never be an opportunity like this in our living history again to invest in a very speculative asset. The reason why I say it's speculative, we don't know what regulation is going to look like, but we are going to go through a bull run in 2024 to 2025. And if they approve these Bitcoin ETFs and Ethereum ETF, you know that the institutions are going to come rushing and you're going to get some massive price appreciation, but you have to exit when it's going up, guys. You have to pull profits. You need to pull profits and get the greed gene out of your body. I will keep repeating this because I know so many people will thank me for this a year from now. Like, thank you, JB, because you're going to see all your friends and family thinking that Bitcoin is going to go to a certain amount and it's going to come collapsing down. The exchanges are going to shut down when it gets to the top and they're not going to be able to get their money out. You have to ladder out on the way up. Take a percentage here, take a percentage here, take a percentage here, and then don't go buy a Lambo or a big mansion. Go secure that shit. Insurance, businesses, buy equity, buy real estate. And then with your cash generating assets, you reinvest back into these speculative assets and boom and bust cycles. Then you're secure and you can be with your family and you can build freedom and resources. That's what it's all about. So we love you guys. We appreciate you. Keep your eye out. The book will be coming out very, very soon. It's a completely free book because I've had so many people saying, hey, listen, you know, I want to know what you're doing. So I wrote down exactly what I'm doing, from self-development to my investment strategy to my diversification, how I did it, exactly how I did it. So I think it's very important that I get this in as many hands as possible. So I love you guys. I appreciate you. As we always say, Warriors, rise, get your shit together. Let's go.